Hey friends, welcome to my Sudoku kitchen, aka my kitchen where I solve Sudokus. Today is episode 3 of Variant Sudoku 101. Variant Sudoku 101. I forgot it real quick. So this is the third episode. Right now we're going to be looking at killer Sudoku. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at a chess Sudoku, and then the day after, we'll be doing a counting circles Sudoku. So that's the plan. I should write this down. I think it is written down, but this is my plan. For the for the counting circles, I do hope that we get more recommendations for counting circles for beginners, just because I am a beginner at counting circles for sure. But I'm excited to start learning about them. So if anyone has any thoughts, intuitions, recommendations, or puzzles, please let me know. But today I thought we'd do a pretty much standard killer Sudoku. I had a friend who really started just doing a bunch of killer Sudokus and didn't stop. She went crazy with only killer. So I thought I'd do some killer, and then, like I said in the previous two episodes, in previous two Variant Sudoku 101s, we have some dots that are sprinkled in, which is nice because today also we did a Not So Magnifique puzzle with Dutch whispers, and it had these kind of peppered in black kropki dots, or ratio kropkis. So that's great. So, on theme for today. It's also Wine Wednesday, so I have my glass of wine, and this is it's a bit embarrassing, but I only had one glass left in my bottle, and then I just kind of kept having a few sips. So this is what we. Next time I'll have more, I promise. I'll have a white wine probably because I see myself cooking with leeks soon. I'm excited to do so. But anyways, point is, it's Wine Wednesday. So if you if you want to join me, sort of, you can have wine with me. Yes. Anything else? No. This is gonna be really kind of like our first Sudoku. I will say that the past two episodes were like a really starting of these types. I see this as sort of a supplementary to people. So the way I started with Variant Sudoku was that I just watched other people do it, and then eventually I would put like a puzzle here. Like I'd split screen, right, and I'd have a puzzle next to the person solving, and then I would be solving alongside them, and I found that was really fun. So I'm making this almost like pretty much for that purpose, so that we're holding hands throughout, and then you can, if you see yourself having some sort of intuition, and you can pause my video and then you put your thing in, and then maybe I'll get there later and you'll be like, yeah, great, I had that intuition too. So that's kind of how I recommend moving on with this series, with these, at least the next, this video included and the next two. But of course, do what you want. It's your life. But I just wanted to cater to what I know I used to do. So that's how I recommend this happening. But today we're doing intro to killer cage Sudoku. How am I doing it? Plus with a little extra spice because because we like to mix variants on this channel. I got this from Missing Deck. So it's full deck and missing a few cards. Hey friends! They have a really awesome archive. So what I'm also doing throughout the series is I want to highlight, like I was talking about yesterday, where I get my puzzles. There are so many people that have plenty. So for practice, here we have a fantastic archive, and it separates the difficulty by Brassica gas. So genuinely approachable Sudoku is called a gas, GAS. So there's Brassica, which is the family of broccoli and cauliflower. That's a Brassica. And then they have gas. It's basically a fart joke that they ran with. I love it. Then they have indigestion, things like that. This puzzle is a Brassica. They make these, by the way, fucking daily, basically. And then this one is one of the easiest level. So I just wanted to start off with this one, not only to highlight them, I love them, hi guys, but also where I get the puzzles. It's my intention throughout this series to highlight not just puzzles, but where to get them, other series that other YouTubers are making to, get with the basics. So this is me highlighting. This is where it's another place to get an archive. This is another archive to get puzzles. Am I speaking quickly? I feel like I'm speaking very quickly. Let me relax. Anything else? No, let's just get into it. I'm just gonna start and then we'll talk about vibes. We'll talk about sort of where my brain goes when I'm looking at this, and then we can solve together, shall we? So this is a Brassica level from Full Deck Missing a Few Cards, aka Missing Deck. It's called Centering Piece, and I'll put the links to everything in the description. We're looking at we're looking at killer cages with a little bit of spice. Yes, great, wonderful. So before we do rules, I'm gonna have the tiniest sip known to man. Great. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means we need to place digits 1 through 9 once each in every column, every row, and every 3x3 box. Digits in cages cannot repeat. So remember, we did talk about killer cages before. I think it was the first episode. Yeah, so on the first episode, we did do this. Feel free to go back to that episode. Here we are again. Digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum to the value shown in the upper left corner of the cage. So you will always look at the shapes. Even though this is the most left of this cage, this is the top left, right? So this is the top. It's always going to be top left. The same here. Even though this one is still more left than this one's top left. So that's where we're going to find it. Etc. Anything else? No. So that's what a killer cage is. They must sum to that thing, and they do it in but they don't repeat. So for example, this 9, there are a few ways to make 9 in 3, but for example, we could do 2, 3, 4, right? And then but we can't repeat, right? It's not like we're doing 4, 4, 1, right? That wouldn't work. For many reasons, but specifically for this one. Digits separated by a black dot are in a 2-to-1 ratio. Not all dots are necessarily given, right? We also talked about this one. I think in both episodes we had black kropki dots. So if this was a 1, this could be a 2. That is an example of a 2-to-1 ratio. Another one is 2, 4. Also 4, 8. 3 and 6 can also be on this. We have many options. Not all dots are necessarily given. Yes? Okay, great. After the rules are done, I always feel a sense of peace because now I can just do now I can do the puzzle. So are we ready? If you're having a drink with me, by all means, let me know what you have in the comments. I'd love to know. We pair beverages with Sudokus on the channel because we like to have every drop of enjoyment that we can from life and from Sudoku. So, as always, a sip. Fabulous. I do recommend before we start having a piece of paper with you, or I also, I don't have it today, but I do have a killer guide that I have, which is, you can just Google killer cage reference guide, and it tells you all the possible math for each cage. So how to do 17 in a 3-cell cage, or how to do 12 or 9 in a 2-cell cage. And it lists out all the options. So I definitely recommend doing that. I use it for almost every killer puzzle I do, but in this case, let's just do it with good old math, shall we? Alrighty, 3, 2, 1. Let's fucking go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Alright, where does my brain go first? My brain goes first to stuff that I know, right? What do I know? I know the minimums and maximums of less like less easy to get sums. So for example, I know 6. Why do I know 6? Because 1, 2, and 3 sum up to 6, right? So this is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go straight to the cages that I know pretty well. So 6 in 3 is 1, 2, and 3, which is great because they give us this little dot. So that's fabulous. We know that this is a 1, 2 pair because 3 wouldn't be involved. So this is a 1, 2 pair. That's a 3. Next, I'm looking at this 7 because 7 in 2 is, I'm going to do a 7 tree. Maybe I'll show you my tree. This is what it looks like, but obviously you can make your own. I don't know if you guys can see it. Pausing for effect. 7 is 1, 6, 2, 5, and 3, 4. Right? That's how I do my trees. In this case, this digit can't be 1, 2, or 3. So this is a 6, 5, or 4. And this is a 3, 1, 2, or 3. Right? Great. These digits all have to be higher, and that's really important for this one. So how many ways can we make 9 and 3? Let's do another tree. We can do 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, and 2. This is just from experience, by the way. Like the reason why I'm coming up with these numbers, I'm usually very slow. my friends, my community can attest to that. And 2, 3, 4. The reason why is last week I did a bunch with 9 cells, with 9 cages. So this digit cannot be a 1, 2, or 3, right? So this has to be 4, 5, or 6. Cute, great. This is interesting now. There's a lot. 17. Okay, it doesn't matter. So this has to be, we're here also looking at 1, 2s, or 3s. And this has to be now another thingy that is, Yeah, another low-hanging fruit that I'm thinking of is 22. Does that make any sense? What's the maximum? So my thought process when I'm looking at killers is I try to think of the maximum that 3 cells could be, for example. So that's 7, 8, 9, add up to 24. Okay, 24. Okay, good. No, so that makes sense. So this is pretty difficult to do. It is pretty difficult to do this. I imagine, so this for me, it doesn't make sense that there's a digit on here that is not an 8. It is possible that this is a 6, but I think. Is it possible that that's a 6? What if we did 6, 8, 9? No, that's 23. What if we did 6, 7, 9? Yeah, that's 22. That works. So this could indeed be a 6, but it could be an 8 as well. What other way can we get 22? 5, 8, 9. Yeah, that's true. Either way, I think there needs to be a 9. Is it possible to do this without a 9? What if we did 6? No, 6, 7, 8 also doesn't work. So there does need to be a 9. Oof. I don't like to notate that across box borders. But it's in a killer. So it does... Let's see. I shouldn't... People might not like that. Yeah, not sure. Sorry, package arrived. Sorry, my bad. Okay, where were we? Okay, that's another part of Sudoku. This was all meant to happen. I don't think I thought about the repercussions of these. Yeah, I don't think I did. So if this was a 6, this would have to be a 3. And if this was an 8, this would have to be a 4. That works. If this was an 8 and this was a 4, then we're looking at 2, 3 pair. If this was a 3, it could still be 1, 5, 2, 4. Eesh. Either way, here we're looking at... there's no 6 on here. I think that's something I can deduce, right? If there's a 1, 2... We have 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4, so there's no 6 on here. Helpful? Please? Please helpful? You know, I think there are only 2 ways of this one, of this 22. I think it is only 6, 7, 9, and 5, 8, 9. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay. This was a 6, and this is a 7, 9 pair. This is an 8, this is a 5, 9 pair. Yeah, either way. Either way, there's no 9 on the 11, which is cool, because now we have this, this. If this was a 1, this is a 2. This is a 2, this could be also a 1 or a 4. And this is a 3, this is a 6. Eesh. That's not fun. That's not fun, that's not fun. If we were to look at... There's quite a few ways to make 11, aren't there? Ugh. Can we remove 6 from the option? No, because 6 could be... Yeah, 6 could be an option. 6, 4, 1, for example. How many options are there with 17? This, for example, can't be a 1, 2 pair. That's another. That's better. That's a better question. What pairs could be on this 17? We could have a 1, 2. We couldn't have a 1, 2 because that would be 14 in one square. That doesn't work. You know what? That's a great question. What do they? It's useful for some, but not. Well, I guess for this other one it's useful. I'm just gonna do the math. 1, 2 would add up to 3. 2, 4 would add up to 6. 4, 8 would add up to 12, and 3, 6 would add up to 9. That's a fun fact. That's a very fun fact. So now could this be 1, 2? No. Could it be 2, 4? No, that would be 11. That's fabulous. So we're looking at either 3, 6, which is 9, and then this is an 8, or we're looking at 4, 8, and this is 5. Oh. Either way, there has to be an 8 up here. This is fun. I like that. It's like you're discovering new things. So if that's the case, the 8 does something here barely. Barely. I guess we didn't look at is 9 and 2. That's 1, 8, 2, 3. No, not 2, 3. 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. This can't be 1, 2, 3. Does that do anything? No. No, barely. But I guess, this isn't a 1, 8 pair because the 1's looking here and so is this 8. So that's not the case. Yeah, so this isn't a 1, 8 pair. Great. So now it could be anything else. This is 7 or 2, then 6 and 3, and then 4, 5 is also possible. Boof, 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 boof. So this is a 5 or an 8. Isn't that fascinating? And then this could be a 4, 8 or a 3, 6. If this was 3, 6. I can't be 3, 6. There we are. Woohoo! It's not a 3, 6. I have 1 digit in the grid and I didn't see it. Happens. I hope you guys saw it before I did and you'd feel a little bit more confidence. I loved that feeling when I was watching other people. Great. So this isn't 3, 6. So it has to be a 4, 8. Beautiful. I'm going to remove everything because I know that this is a 4, 8, right? And we deduce that that's 12, so this has to be 5. Beautiful. Is it no longer a 5, so that's no longer a 2. Is no longer a 5, so it's no longer a 4. These are not 4s. Call me crazy, but there has to be a 4 in here. So it's looking at both of these. This isn't a 4, this isn't a 5. Great. So now we have only 2 options. This for sure is not a 4. So this is a 6. This is a 1. We have digits, people. That's beautifully done. Very happy. Very happy with that. So now, interesting. Now the only digits that can be on here, well, we sort of knew, I think we concluded a little bit, but now that the only digits that are available to be black kropki are 3, 4, and 8. Does that tell us much? If this was an 8, then we're looking at 3, 1, which isn't possible. So it's not possible that this is an 8. So this is a 3, 4 pair. That's fascinating. And we know which way it goes because this 6 is looking here. So this wouldn't be able to be a 6, so that's not a 3. So this is a 3. This is a 6. This is a 4. Am I sure that that's the case? Yeah. Sort of. And what's left here, so we have 7, which means that we have 5 left to place. And that's actually possible. Very happy with that. So this is a 6 now. Beautiful. Now we know because we were looking at the 1, 2, 6. So this is no longer a 3. Okay. So this is no longer that. 2, 1. That's still possible for this to be a 1. Either way. No. Now in this box, fun. In this box, now the 1 and 2 are accounted for. There has to be 1 and 2 have to be here. So this can no longer be 1 and 2. This is a 4. So this can't be a 1 anymore. This is a 2. This is a 1. And we disambiguate this X-wing. So now this has to be an 8. Fabulous. Dots. This has to be a 9 because we still need a 9 in this row, and this is a 8. Very nice. So now we have 8s going on over here, which is fine. I'm fine with it. Good to know. I'm fine with it. Then we have a 4 in the 11 cage. Beautiful. What's left? We still require 7. 7 and 2. We can't have another 3, 4. We can't have another 4 repeating, remember? Oh, that's a great reminder. That we can't have another 3, 4. So we're looking at 1, 6 or 2, 5. We have 1, 6 looking here. So this can't be a 1, 6 anymore because this digit is looking at both of them. Right? So either way, we can't have 1 or 6 here, so this would have to be both 1 and 6. That doesn't work. So we're looking at 4, 2, 5. I'm sure we can do that. Yes, here's the 2. So that's the 5. That's the 2. Ha. Interesting. We still have to place... 24 in 4, I think is quite average, isn't it? Yeah. Not much to play with there. Then we have... That's what I like about the peppering of this, is that a killer by any other name would smell as sweet. No, like a killer by any other means would be kind of rough. It would be difficult. This 2 and 1 is looking here now. So I know this couldn't have been 2 or 1, but now this can't be a 2 or 1. How many options did we have? It was 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4. Sorry about that again. Okay, we keep going. I was sus because these can't be 1s and 2s. I think that's still fine if this was 3. Sorry about that. If this was a 3, whatever. Martha, apparently this 9 is cursed. Do not keep looking at this 9 or more shit's gonna happen. This 22 was tough. The 5. There we go. This 5 has given us, yes. If this was a 5, this can no longer be the 5, 8, 9. So this has to be the 6, 7, 9. Okay. So this is 6. Then this is a 7, 9 pair. And we know exactly which way that goes. Perfect. 7, 9. Great. This is a 3. This is no longer a 6. Can we place anything else in the vicinity? This is a 3. So, this could still be 1, 5 or 2, 4. I know there's a bunch I can remove from there. 1, 5, 2, 4. That's still possible. There is a 6 here. Not shocking. 24 and 4 is quite average. If there's a 6 in here, look at that. So what kind of pair is this? It's not a 1, 2, because there's a 2 and a 1 looking here. It's not a 2, 4, obviously. It can't be a 4. Oh. Did I mess something up? We're looking at 1, 2, it's not a possibility. 2, 4, also not. 4, 8 is not possible. And 3, 6 is not possible. Oh my gosh. We could still have the 6 not be in the same cage. Well, there you go. You know what? This variant Sudoku 101 is as much for me as it is. It's, when you're solving online, it's totally different. Okay, so 6. This is a 6, therefore. That's not a 6. This is a 6, and this is a 3. There you go. That's great. That's really cool. And now where does 3 go in this box? It has to be here. That's so cool. That is really cool. So now there's a 3 down here, not here. Can this be a 3? Yeah, this could still be a 6 in theory. Wow. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Okay, so we have 3, 6, so that's 9. We still have to place, I'm going to write it down because I'm visual. It's 24 minus 9, that's 13. That's not 13, that's 15. It's one or the other. That's how my brain works. 15 and 2, we can do 7, 8, and we can do 9, 6, which is not possible. In other words, where does the 8 go? It has to go down here, doesn't it? So this is 8, 7. This is a 9. We have a 9 by force down here in a 16. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. Because there has to be a 9 and a 16. What's left? 16 minus 9 is 7. 7. So we have to do 7 and 3 now. That's fascinating. There's only one way to do 7 and 3 cells, which is 1, 2, and 4. So we're looking at 9, 1, 2, 4. This, therefore, is 1, 2, 4, which is fine. That doesn't do very much. Now this is 2. This could still be 1. This could still be 4 and even 8. That doesn't do very much. But this, 1, 2, 4, 9... What isn't on this? And that way we can ask what's over here. 1, 2, 4, and 9. There has to be a 9. There has to be a 2. 4 is a bit... Yeah, 4 could still be... Yeah, but then this would have to be... 3, 5. So there is a 5 here. Which means that there's so now by Sudoku, here we are. So this 5, these 5s are looking over here. This one's looking over here. This one's looking over here. So this is a 5. And then we had the, right, it was 1, 3, 5. Perfect. So now the 2 is over here, shockingly. So now here we have a 4, 7 pair. Yeah, and we know where the 7 is. There we go. Aha. So now we need this to be 1, 2, 4, and the 4 is already in this box. So it needs to be in the cage outside of that box. So this is now specifically a 2 or an 8. Does that? There we go. I was gonna look up here to see if we had a 2 or an 8, but even better, we have a 4 and 8. So this is a 4. This isn't what? Whoops, wrong one. This is an 8. This is a 2. Beautiful. So now we have a 2 over here. This is now the 2. No longer is this the case. We can already put the... I'd like to center notate this one instead. This can be it is a 8. There we go. Here we have left to put 3, 4, 5. This 4 is looking here, this 5 is looking here, this 3 is looking here. Interesting. This is a 3 or a 4, which makes this a 6 or a, but there's an 8 over here, so this is only a 2. Is that possible? I think so. I think so. 20 and 5 is, I think, also not super something that you're supposed to know off the top of your head. So we're off the hook here. 7, 8, 8. There has to be an 8 over here. Can there be an 8 and a 12? Technically, yes, if we were working with 3 and 1. And I think that that's still the case. This would be 3 here and a 1 would be here. Ah, that's a great question. Where does 1 go here? It has to be here. Ah, that's fascinating. That's really cool. What would we be looking at? If this was a 3, 6, we'd be looking at 10, right? Total plus the 1. 10 versus the 4, 2, which is 6. So that's 7. So we're looking at 10 versus 7. If this in total was 10, we'd have to have 10 and 2, which is possible. Wait, is it though? Let's look at all the ones, all the options. So can this be 1, 9? No. Yeah, because there's already 1. Great, there's already 1 in the killer. That makes sense. Can this be? If this was, let's pretend this is 3, this is 6. Then this can't be 1, 9 because of the 1. It can't be. It can't be 2, 8 because an 8 and 2 is looking over here. Can it be 3, 7? No, because there's a 3 here. Can it be 4, 6? No, because there's a 6 here. Ah. So there's no way to make 10, which is what we need to finish this, if this was to be a 3 or a 3 and a 6. So this is 4 and 2. So this is a 5. This is the 3. There's a 3 down here by Sudoku. There's a 5 over here by Sudoku and a 4 down here. Great. So now we're looking at, now this adds up to 7. 13 is left. That's actually kind of not that tricky, but a little bit tricky in 2. Let's do a 13 tree. So we're looking at 9, 4, 8, 5, 7, 6. Can we do 9, 4? Yeah. No, because there's a 4 here. Great. So it's not 9, 4. Can it be 8, 5? I see it being 8, 5. That's possible. And we know exactly which direction it is. So that would be the 5. That would be the 8. This would be the 5. Or 7, 6. Well, the 7 and the 6 are both looking here. So unless this can be 2 cells at once. We're looking at an 8 and a 5. Yes, that's very nice. So now we know. Okay. So now we know that there's an 8 in this 12. Perfect. So this means that if there's an 8 in the 12, then we have 4 left in the math. And the only way to make 4 in 2 cells in a Sudoku is 1, 3. So this isn't a 4. This isn't a 1. The 3, Nope, this isn't a 4. So this is a 4. This needs to be a 1, also by Sudoku, so that's really great. There's a 3 and 8 combo pair here. Great. Then we have, this also needs to be a 3, 6. Yeah, go figure. 3, 6. Oop, 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 oop. And then we know which way that goes, which is so great, because now we know this one. Isn't that awesome? So what's left here is 9. I don't think this could still be a 9. We have 9 and 7 left to place. That's possible. If this was a 9, we'd be looking at 1, 2. And we know which direction that would be in. Let me just write that down actually. And then if it was a 7, we're looking at 5. So we could still have 1, 4 here, right? That's possible. Or a 2, 3. But the 2, 3 doesn't work. Either way, this is a 1 apparently. Good. So this is a 1 by Sudoku, more Sudoku. Are we done with the... No, we haven't really scratched the surface. But are we done with the... Yeah, we're done with the 1s. Almost. No. So where does 2 go? And this one is the last one to place. So this is a 9 at the end. That's great. This is a 7. Pamparam, pamparam, pampum. Anything else? What about the 3s? The 3s are almost done. There it goes. That's a 3. That's a 6. We can place that one. This has to be a 7 or 9. 7. Great. It's a naked single. Then we have another. This could still be 7. I'm not sure. This could be 7 and 9. Yes. Great. This therefore has to be a 5. Great. Muy bien. This is a 5. We need a 5 over here. Can we do 8s? I feel like we should be able to do 8s. Well, this is a good one. If this 8 was down here and another 8 here, then we ask ourselves, where does 8 go in this column? That's the next kind of intuition I get. So do with that what you will. I don't know. I don't know if these are helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4 still needs to be here. That does so little. Well, no, actually, 4 is the only one left here. Martha, take your own advice and look at what's in the column. Then we need 7 and 9 left. Can we not do that? Ooh. What's going? Here's this 9. It's looking here, so this has to be a 9. Happy with that. I like that one. 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, and this is up 4. Correct. Then the 7's looking here. Perfect. And what's left is a 2? No, 4. I can't even. This is a 6. This is a for fuck's sake, 7. 7, 9. 7, 9 is often 7, 9. Okay, great. Wonderful. Don't look at the time. The time doesn't count. I had kerfuffles during this one. But yes, there we are. That's how I would solve a killer that's super math oriented. So it's not my cup of tea, but we're gonna go tomorrow to chess Sudoku, which is definitely much more my cup of tea. But yeah, there we are. And then I added some of the sprinkles. This puzzle is something I would recommend to somebody who was trying it out for the first time, just because it's nice and I like it. Anything else? No. If you did this, let me know how you guys got along. As always, let me know if you had a beverage with it. Let me know if you had more than me, because I had so little. And see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.